Hey everybody, my name is Azalea and you're watching my YouTube channel WayCrunchy. But if you're watching this video, you've probably already watched my other videos and you're wondering how my cervical biopsy results came out. So I have been sharing my women's health journey and mental health journey. I have trauma related to vaginal exams, shots, surgeries. You know, in the past I was attacked by a dog that required, see, this portion of my nose was actually cheek that they cut out here. A dog bit off the end of my nose. So that required a lot of major surgery. And I just haven't, you know, medical stuff is hard for me. So I've been sharing my women's health journey ever since I got an irregular pap smear. So I got the irregular pap smear. They decided they wanted to do a cervical biopsy, a colposcopy. And so they would take little chunks out of my cervix, which they could do in the gynecologist office, but I will freak out and not be able to permit it or allow it. And they felt like gassing me in the office while I was having the procedure was probably going to make me panic more and just feel out of control. That seemed likely. So I ended up being under full sedation to get the colposcopy done. And so I went to the hospital. They put the IV in. That's the only time I had a panic attack. This is also a mental health journey. I have a panic disorder. I had a panic attack while they were putting in the IV. And, you know, I didn't consciously feel scared, but, you know, I've had a lot of IVs. I've had a lot of medical trauma. And so while they were doing it, I was like, I'm just doing my deep breathing, y'all. I have my eyes closed, doing my deep breathing. And, you know, they had me hooked up. They hooked me up to monitors and stuff. And so that's the only time I had a panic attack. You can go back and watch the video that I took in the hospital. You can go back and watch when I first got the news that I had an irregular pap smear and the appointment where we decided, yes, we were going to the hospital for the colposcopy. You can watch all that. I made on the WayCrunchy YouTube homepage. If you look at playlist, I made a women's health playlist. I've also had lumps in my breast that turned out to not be cancer. You know, getting my vaccination shots. I made a women's health playlist where I share these mental health journeys that so many of us, if not all of us, go through between health/mental health. Women's health is a big one, you know? And so I've got HPV, virus that leads to cervical cancer. So many people do. So many people do. And I think a lot of times people, you know, don't talk about it, but so many people have it. So y'all saw me when I had my procedure. Now I went through a recovery. There was bleeding, just like spotting, for, I don't know, a week. I'm now 2 weeks out from the procedure. I was kind of wiped out from, I think, the stress of it, from anesthesia. I had to do a little bit of a recovery period, which I didn't expect. You know, I wasn't doing house chores. I was trying not to move around a lot. The bleeding made me uncomfortable. I didn't like that. Like mental health uncomfortable. Like it just felt like, oh God, you know, I've got this wound, but I can't even see it to like treat it, you know. So a 2-week period of like no bath, no submerging yourself in liquid. You know, they just want to keep any microbes possible from entering the vagina. So anyway, that 2-week period is done. And I was getting a little antsy, like, what are my results? Because, you know, they check the cells for cancer. And you need to know, do you have cervical cancer? So I called the lab. I hadn't got my results yet. And my post-op appointment where they make sure I'm healing up and tell me how we're going to move forward, I have not had that yet. But I called the lab to get the lab results. Left a voicemail. Within 4 minutes of leaving the voicemail, they uploaded my results to my patient portal, just like my online thing. I got an email saying that I had a new message. And I do not have cancer. The biopsy turned out fine. as far as that. You know, abnormal cells are precancerous cells. They can turn into cancer, but they also can not turn into cancer. So I do not have cancer. Isn't that just lovely news? It's a lovely day here, and it's just so lovely that I don't have cancer. If you have also been following along, you know, we've been doing things like shopping for houses and getting into whole big projects when you have a biopsy in the lab and you need to know kind of if you're going to have cancer. Could affect whether you want to take on a big project or not, because your big project might be healing. So I did have cancer. My biopsy turned out negative. I will always have HPV, and I'll let y'all know how the post-op goes. They were also going to do an HPV test to see exactly which strain of HPV I have, and they know so much about it, even though they can't cure it, that they have like made a nice formula for like how often you get pap smears or a colposcopy or that kind of thing. So yeah, I'll tell you more after I go for my post-op. I feel healed up. I'm, fingers crossed, you know, no infection, feeling vibrant and healthy. I'm feeling very vibrant and healthy. What a weight off. What a weight off my mind. I love sharing these journeys with you. A lot of women's health issues and mental health issues can often be under rug swept, and it leaves women with a feeling of loneliness and isolation. But, you know, we're all in this life thing together. We're all brothers and sisters in humanity, or, you know, some kind of non-binary thing of that. We're just all people, and we all have our own journeys. And I want to tell you, you know, just remind you, you never know what someone is going through that they're not telling you about. And this kind of thing, like having a regular pap smear, that kind of thing, is something that usually people don't tell a lot of people about. And it can be super scary, stressful, affect how you're viewing the world. And so just be gentle. We're all people. Just be gentle with humans. Treat everyone with love and respect, as though they might be carrying a heavy load. Bye, y'all.